Hello again, friends and fans. Raptor returns here on Wargame Red Dragon to continue the Second Korean War. South Korea here is being a little bit more secure. Though the enemy has taken Daejeon, it's lucky again that we were able to get our aircraft out of there, and we still hold most of these sectors. In fact, compared to enemy territory, we hold more. They do hold some very important high point areas, but we should be able to capture them back. If they continue to roll, we could possibly get some reinforcements from Seoul, and yeah, it would be a good thing. So anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. I think if I can, I'm gonna move a naval ship up then. We could get into a naval battle now in these areas, but I don't know if the enemy reinforcements are going to come and fight during a next turn. So the last thing I want to do is be caught 1 versus 3. So we're just going to move into naval sector Echo to make sure that's held, since it's also a sea route where naval reinforcements can come out of that sector. I guess one thing I don't think I've gone over before, and probably too late to go over now, but we'll do it anyway, is for those of you who are watching who are new players, we'll cover each one of these symbols so that way you somewhat understand what's going on. So for those of you who want to know, the sea routes allow sea reinforcements to come in. The wrench sea route allows those to also be refitted. The port is where certain units are able to land by boat, not landing forces per se, but for instance, in this menu, if we were to call out Victory Division, if they could be called out from Qingdao, then that's where they would deploy from if they were a naval unit or if they were being landed by ships. Also, airports are somewhat the same. Airplanes automatically return to their airport at the end of the at the end of the enemy's turn. They can be assigned to different airports. All units use the airport refit, and some specific units can be airlifted. So basically what that means is if we lose an airport, if we lose the airport, those forces are cut off, and each one of these anchors you see here is a possible area where reinforcements could be brought in. And luckily we hold almost all of those minus Daejeon there, but we can easily recapture that if we capture the enemy between a rock and a hard place. So anyway, what I want to do is come up behind them later with forces probably from Yongduk, but what we could do is we could retreat or advance if need be, and but we're going to hold steady for now, and we're going to go to Gwangju now and finish it off here. Now, I'm more confident about this type of battle. We outnumber them with our numbers, our control of the map, and also the fact that they've got a lot of helicopters to transport. VTT-323s are also going to be something that we'll need to defend against, so this should be a no problem battle for us. Again, if you enjoy this though, please do continue to share with your friends, and thanks to Wargame and Day Squad and everyone else who supports us and gives out the word, and so I'll give out the word to them as well. Great communities, great community to be a part of, and communities with it's really like micro communities within the whole Wargame family, and it's fantastic. We'll go ahead and put down our infantry command first. We've got a lot of points to spend this time around as well. We've got some tow units, which I don't think are going to be too good in this environment. They're going to come rushing out of the forest and then are free to roam about wherever they please. So we'll need to set up some ambushes for the enemy, though it seems apparent that they're going to be able to pretty much easily get past anything we try to bring up. So we'll bring a mix of AT and infantry units, and also it is an airborne group as well, so there could be some helicopters at some point, and it's probably going to be best for us to bring out infantry to try to quickly go to flanking positions, and we'll see what we can do with oh, you know what, these are LVTP-7s, though they don't have grenade launchers. Oh, I want to actually, there we go, 3. I want oh, these are so hard to put out sometimes. I click 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so we'll call out. By the way, if you want to call out multiples of the same unit, just hold Shift, and you can call out as many of the same like for instance, if you want 3 groups of 3, then you can just continue to hold Shift and click 3 times. And I just like to, you know, set things up like that. They used to kind of snap to the road, and that seems to be a no can do anymore in Wargame. But we'll set up our recon, get that ready to go, and we'll have some AA in the woods. Yes, we do have some K-263s, which will be great against any sort of helicopters, and we'll even use those helicopters. We'll try to get those across the road. We'll try to put them up here in this mountainous area, and let's just go ahead and put a few down there, and we'll keep an eye on the enemy. Stingers will be effective, but our main kills are probably going to be infantry. If the enemy does try to sneak around us, though, we could be screwed. So what we'll do is we'll have stingers come up into the woods here and just kind of keep an eye on things, and we'll have some more stingers come across the road. Actually, we'll have them hang back there just as a backup. Now, per usual, the North Koreans will probably be in large numbers, just at a high speed. They'll bring everything all at once, and they'll try to, well, not all at once, but in phases. There'll be, you know, the initial phase, and then the second wave could possibly do a lot of damage to us, and then that third wave is really gonna, if we don't play our cards right, could really take us down. So we'll have a backup infantry force ready of a couple of troops here, and then we'll keep funding that defense if need be. We'll put our trained units up instead of our more hardened units, so that way A, they can get trained, and B, we can, actually I'm going to bring out the KAFV, because that actually has an autocannon which could really do damage to enemy units. Okay, let's get started, and away we go. We have artillery as well in support, so we may as well start firing that at where we know the enemy's going to come from, and we'll get infantry commands out. Actually, we'll just empty those right away. Artillery's on the way, and our troops should be on the way too. Hopefully we get there before the enemy does. Alright, so extra defenses are ready. MD, the doctor is moving over to the corner. And we'll just get all of our forces deployed. Yeah, because of the rockets. Alright, hopefully they're able to chew that up. Alright, Malyukas are coming up. Being chewed up right away by that infantry. Beautiful. A command down as well. Malyukas down. Wow, they drove right through the artillery. Everything's playing out as we thought. We're starting to get a little bit more of an advantage now. Obviously, we have the advantage with points and them only having to go through one call out. Look at those tomahawk lock on. Sweet. Alright, we'll call up a couple of cargo trucks. We don't want those forces to move from their position. Looks like they have decapped Delta as well. We'll have our infantry try to go through a flank then. 70% of our force needed points has already been achieved. Okay, a lot of infantry coming now. And I thought we actually put them into defensive, so we'll pull them back. Infantry on infantry violence now. Looks like they're having to go through fire. Speaking of fire, we'll fire now at the enemy. Keep that artillery coming. Good coordinates. No, good hits. Keep those coordinates coming. Name the game. Alright, so Delta seems to have been abandoned. No, oh, okay, the enemy must have just retreated. Wow, total victory. The 750th Special Forces, not so special anymore. Completely obliterated, really. And that takes a very important chip off the map. Boom. That was a very big loss to them. They still have the 612, which does come with Mi-25s. Let's see. They're then the Mi-8s, but those are very good lock-ons. Mi-25s are what's to be most concerning in this group. But anyway, all right, off to a real good start of eliminating that flank right off the bat. And so now we'll be able to end our turn. We'll be able to either retreat or advance, depending on what do you think we should do. Armor, both of these groups look great. The Japanese, again, these are airborne troops. Let's see, we have some forces that could be refitted, and we have some aircraft that also could be refitted as well. Most concerning units here are the aircraft, and we'll probably keep them over Yeongdeok because there's no backup at Busan, as where this strategic sector does have a backup. But regardless, if they don't have much AA, which they actually do have some AA, bombers would be important here. But you know what? I don't want to lose these units, so we're just going to play it safe, keep them in the back. We're going to bring up, we're going to enforce those bombers instead, and that will be the end of turn number 3. On to turn 4 then, the computer making its moves. It's going to be really exciting to see where they attack, because it seems like when they do attack, it's deep, and we're able to counter it. We've just given up Dosen't. We can give up some ground to buy some time, but we must absolutely not lose Busan, Mokpo, and Yeosu. I think it should be if these 3 sectors fall, the Korean government will be forced to capitulate. All right, we don't want them to do that at all. So we cannot, this is the final line here. The enemy seems to have pushed in, and we can actually come, look at this, they've left the back door wide open. Chunchan and Sokcho are wide open. Hold on a second. Look at that. The Dosen't could be immediately captured by the helicopter battalion. We could actually bring helicopters in to participate in the next battle of this after we deal with the enemy's attacks. We may be pushed back one more, but actually there's no reinforcements coming. This must be some sort of this could be a home defense force. Obviously, they're defending alternative landing areas for the Blue 4, but and it actually looks like an enemy ship has moved up. 28th Surface Ship Division, morale of 6 with 26 units, including a ton of MiG-29Ks and KA-29 or KA-27s rather, with anti-ship missiles with 60% accuracies, though the biggest fear here is the the Udaloy, and though we could probably bulk up a little bit and scare him off. But anyway, let's begin with the battles. And the enemy first wants to battle us at Daegu, which is all the way in the center, and we can't bring our reinforcements at the time. We did back up some of our forces, though. We're against the ever-present T-72Ms, the 13 count here, and we're all the way back up again with our 12 MI, or I always want to say MI, but the M48 A5Ks and the M48 A5K. Well, this is the WRSA, which is buffed up a little bit, does have a greater accuracy, greater range, and a greater AP power. And the vehicle itself is also a prototype made in '95. Damn. All right, well, it's also got, it has a reduction in side armor. Interesting. It's not faster, though. Huh. All right. Well, anyway, it must be a bigger barrel and the armor reduced to, So we have defensive and offensive tanks, and also we have, with our Japanese forces, the cuties here with the personal SAMs and everything. So we should be able to take down enemy aircraft. Biggest force here to fear is the infantry and the T-72s. So let's get right to it then. We'll go right back into the battle. Looks like we own most of the map as well. We could hold them at Charlie and Delta so long as we split our forces up evenly, though they're getting a total of 6 points off the bat, is where we could get a total of 5. All right, let's launch the battle. No reinforcements we can call in here, but we're not going to need them. The people will hold strong for the freedom of South Korea. You can rest assured. So Wangju and Dosen't, both are aircraft call-out positions as well, so we'll need to be careful of that. Per usual, the enemy will probably bring a large number of units, and they'll probably bring them all at once down the same road. Typical is of what we've just encountered. So one thing we want to do is keep a tank. If we're going to have a command, we definitely want to be on this side of the river, and I think Delta may just be a little too close for comfort to defend. So what we'll do is we do need to hold against a large number of tanks, so we're going to put most of our tanks in defense, and we do have cuties, but they're they're going to bring in, probably have mortars, so there's going to be smoking right away. So we're going to try to plug up these villages with as much infantry as possible, and then layer with tanks, and eventually go with ATGMs. If needed, these are I didn't mean ATGMs, I mean AA, but if we need to, the tank there can back up, and we can hold strong with the amount of troops that we bring into each one of these sectors. We do want to make sure we also have a good amount of income as well. So we'll have the cheaper tanks on defense. We don't really have anything to deal with those T-72s other than these tanks. No, we have no... we should actually get some recon. That would be effective. We don't have any sort of aircraft and no helicopters, though we do have M36s, which are actually far more effective in defending. So we'll put a few of those towards the bridges here, and we'll put one on each side, and we'll bring a recon unit up as well. And that should be everything we need with 10 points to spare then. That is a 90mm, by the way, so we should be pretty good. Let's get our forces deployed. We'll get them all into the positions they need to be in. A little sloppy at first, but that's something I need to work on as a player. Alright, the 90s are moving up for recon. The Humvees, again, move your transports back. They're always just a target for the enemy every time. And is a dead giveaway as to what might be there. It's always hard to identify those types of vehicles as well. Alright, the 90, we don't want the Cha here to get hit, so we'll bring up some reinforcements as soon as possible. But as soon as we identify where the enemy's coming from, we can travel in force to plug that hole and make sure the enemy doesn't get any further. The 90 will move up, and recon here is best. Humvees here on the right side. So the greatest threats are here, these two bridges, and here, those two bridges at Charlie. So actually, so long as we hold or keep an eye on Charlie and Delta, they're going to have to come to us. We do have a slight morale disadvantage, but they're probably going to attack, which is usually an advantage for us. And judging by their sloth to attack, or at least us not seeing units yet, it probably means heavy tanks at some point, and then the cavalcade of bombers and aircraft will begin. We'll bring up our 90 just a bit to take a peek at what might be ahead, and we'll do so on both sides. We'll be able to see across the rivers very easily, no blocking there. Up, we've already got our first targets there, and that's probably going to be all the tanks in the army. And there they are. You can hear them just crawling away. So we've got our targets sighted, and so we'll switch our M36s if we can. Oh, yep. There you go. Insta-kill on the recon. Enemy over. Listen to that audio glitching. Blah, 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 blah. So there you go. That's why recon's usually just a mess. And all it does is attract the bad types of people to the neighborhood. So since we know we've got a ton of T-72s coming, we'll just go ahead and plug it up with M36 units, and we'll take that UAZ out with our recon, which actually I wouldn't be surprised if the KAFV was just to immediately self-destruct in a few seconds with aircraft flying over it. We do have additional recon we can call up now, but we know where most of these tanks are coming from. They're actually they're T-55s. I should have identified that actually. They did look like T-55s, but I just by default thought they were 72s. 55s are going to be nightmares against entrenched infantry, but luckily we do have a lot of tanks in support, and we could probably bring up some cargo trucks to make sure that we don't run out of ammo completely. Alright, course shun are being hit. T-55s will be able to see those units, no problem. These units are armed with a machine gun, those Humvees that I just selected. TO-55s on the left, and infantry looks like the Jedis are moving up. By the way, those are the 30.90 units. Infantry is definitely going to need some support. We'll double down on that. Alright, those are going to be a pain in the ass too, those aircraft. Even if we have shoulder-launched AA, they're still going to be difficult to take out. We'll have our M36s just to go up the road then and take out the advancing units. SPAAG will make it a nightmare for infantry and aircraft alike, though we don't have anything really in terms of aircraft. M36s are within range. Sending shells down range, taking out units. QDs are being taken out by TO-55s. Go ahead and retreat a bit. Let those units get closer, and we'll take advantage of their speed. This is 8 tank destroyers. Shilka as well in support. Additional QDs have arrived. Stop our cargo is just short of the QDs there. And the tanks have bulked up. They're sitting in a real good defensive position, and they're starting to get more advanced. Oh, M36 is starting to be hit by rockets. Losing most of that group there, but well worth it, only 10 points each. That's really the price of a tank at some points. Alright, we're going to call out 3 of these shoulder-launched AA. The man pads, if you will. M36s will retreat to Romulan cloaking positions. Only says 2 M36s were destroyed, but we did lose 3 of one group. Alright, keeping an eye on Charlie and keeping an eye on Delta. We're doing really good. The enemy is almost even with us, 300-point advantage for them. But the Shilka, oh, they're going to try to retreat, and that's going to be a no-go. These units here are still panicked because they're sitting right next to fire, and that's kind of ridiculous. Fire has a real good ability to keep troops panicking even though they're sitting in what is essentially a steel box or a steel coffin, depending on how you look at it. M48A5K moving in for the kill. Shilka not knowing what to do, and oh wow, I thought it would be dead there, just staying out of range of the A5K. Hopefully rockets don't come in and take us out. There they are. I was just hoping to get rid of this Shilka before that happened, but that does at least they're only killing one unit at a time, and they're only, you know, our lightest tanks. Shilkas are taking too long to deal with this, so we'll bring up our M36s, retreat the other one, and hold in an anti-air defensive position. This town is perfect for defending against such things. PSAMs are ready to roll. Okay, so it seems like the enemy's probably not going to attack anymore, and we're going to have to build a force to attack them, but it also means we're going to need to get rid of their air force in order to do so. Delta, we could probably bring up a command for a command tank at Delta, but you can be guaranteed that they're going to bring up their that's a Korshun retreating, but they'll be using their air force to take out anything we try to attack with. And since we don't have any mobile SAM sites, so well, actually we do, but they're not. Are these? I'm just wondering if they're okay. One of them is stationary, so that's actually going to be where our advance is going to come from. But we need more points in order to do this. So, and I'm glad we brought up our shoulder launch, because those are going to be a hell of a lot harder to kill. One miss with the closed arrow or the short arrow, and they're done. M36s are going to be hit by insta-ac. Oh wow, no insta-ac, just secondary ac. Rest assured you'll hear that alarm in just a second as M36s. Wow, what? Oh, here's the... Okay, 70-point kill on that. PSAMs are reloading. Missiles away again. Both kills on that. That was totally worth it. Continued harassment by those troops, but we're totally done with dealing with those aircraft now. M36s, we're going to regroup those into a bigger force, and we're going to try to attack now, finally. Mitsubishis can come up. We'll take the left side, and hopefully we don't have to deal with any more... Looks like we got an alarm, I think, from the M36 driving through, but Korshuns on the left side are trying to get ready to attack. We'll back up that recon. They're in the perfect position to defend, though, so if they attack on the left, they're dead. Shilka's there. We're going to just move up to the edge of the river and cover that advance, and we'll build up a force now. Probably want a couple of better heavy hitters ready to roll. And we could bring up some of our infantry as well. We'll get these infantry on the right side ready to roll, and our cuties here, oh, they're beautiful. Going to move them up as well. PSAM in the back can stay put. TO-55s are going to be great targets to kill. If we're not more aggressive, though, we're gonna really risk the chance of a draw or something here. M48s are ready to rock. TO-55 is going to regret that. Korshuns are almost within range of M36s. There they go. They're going to have a bad time on that bridge. Double action going on here. Korshuns on the left, panicked, being destroyed quite easily by those M36 and KAFVs. Cargo truck doing a real good job of making sure they don't run out of ammunition. Okay, our closed arrow is ready, and we'll advance with the cuties on the right. And a couple of extra SAMs probably couldn't hurt, but I would actually much rather have the tanks. 10 minutes, we're going to have to start the attack at 10 minutes. And extra breathing room at Delta is going to be really necessary to call out a command there. And actually, if we could capture Wanju, that'd be great too. Infantry has been unloaded. They'll be coming across that bridge soon, if you saw. And we have no air support to really deal with that at the moment. Ooh, cargo trucks, beautiful. Alright, we're going to regroup these M36s. Another group of Korshun and infantry are crossing. TO-55s. They do not want us to cross. TO-55s, by the way, are flame-throwing T-55s, and the Zil cargo, we're very familiar with that. It seems to just walk into our backyard every time. Alright, we'll have the cuties hop into the Humvees and get ready to roll. And we'll go ahead and advance on the right side as soon as possible. Mitsubishis are moving up for recon, and that Zil cargo is going to be something nice that we're going to want. We'll go across with our heavily armed tanks first, and then we'll be back with the rest of them. All right, tons of fun coming across the bridge. Look at that. Hopefully M36s have enough guns to destroy that. Cuties are also ready to rock if they get past that, if they go straight for the city. Look at this. A lot of forces coming across there. SPAAG. Cargo truck would be a nice capture. We'll advance on the right side then and unload our infantry. Closed arrow can come in behind. Mitsubishi cross. And we'll get our M36s across too. Great bridgehead holders. As you can see here, they're doing a real good job. Just killing everything that moves. These M36s as well carry a total of... They're big and bad, but they do carry 29 rounds at 90 millimeters, so that's pretty good for the price. Alright, closed arrows are ready. We'll have our cuties walk into town. Have our tanks go a little... Actually, we're going to flank around the left with our heavier tanks there, and we'll go to the right. We need to keep an eye on where enemy infantry could be. This is what we're going to engage now, as enemy infantry in the towns. M36s are holding great. SPAAGs not having a good day at all. No fobs for us either. I don't think we started with the ability to even call one out. But at this point, we may as well call up a cheap command, actually, and we'll capture Delta. And if need be, we can move it up to Wanju for extra points and a call out. Cuties are moving their way up. Now, of course, I know they're called something else, but that's my nickname. I love them. They're great. They're good infantry, and for only, is it 30 points, the Carl Gustav M2. Beautiful. All right, we've got a ton of infantry coming across now, and we may need actually to back up the cuties if they get any closer. We're gonna run out of ammunition soon, I think, but we could call up a couple of lighter tanks to help plug that hole if it happens. Okay, on the right we see Juk Yade coming. The Jedi Knights coming. Alright, we're gonna move them up further. And we'll attack through the woods with these other infantry. Looks like we've got an engagement on the right, Strela 2. Tanks also spotted. Oh, hold on a second. Closed arrow, come on now. Oh, they're out of range. Alright, M36s are rocking, ready to rock. And so are our tanks. Humvees are going to be popped by ATGMs. And we'll get our recon hidden here to keep an eye on the enemy. Alright, this M36 group is nearly out of fuel, so we'll put some of them in defense. Closed arrow are coming up. We need some more tanks now. And our Humvee is, our CV is basically arrived. Korshuns are trying to flank around. That's interesting. Alright, we'll make sure we plug that hole with these tanks. Our other tanks are coming as well, so they will definitely not make their way through. Unfortunately, one group of cuties killed, and M40, one of our heavier tanks just, oh yes, ATGM party. Those things are usually horrible, so I was more risky in taking those on. But let's get a little closer with our infantry then. Aircraft are back. Oh, they should have been able to fire there again. Wow, Korshun did a unexpectedly good job on the tanks there, but we still have plenty to spare. We'll hide our M48s there, and we'll get a little closer now with our closed arrows. Still 14 rounds remaining on those. Left side's completely blocked. The enemy's not making it through. They're trying to get sneaky with their ATGMs, but it's not working. And we'll try to close in on them now on the left and make sure they are pushed off that bridge completely. Korshuns are getting a little close for comfort. M36 taking a direct hit there and still alive. Wonderful. Oh, and a command spotted and killed. That's going to be the end of the reinforcements for aircraft on the right side. ZSUs everywhere. Closed arrow then can block over the river. And I love how Kim calls out his troops to basically die before or before I get control of them, so that way they just try to kill themselves. Nice try, but at least we have extra supply. QD90s there. ZSUs are going to murder them, so that's kind of unfortunate for those infantry groups, but they did buy us a lot of time. Oh, M48's a little too close, I think. And we'll just go ahead and murder them all day now. Alright, always hard to commentate and play your best at the same time. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. Alright, well, regardless, we've really punished the enemy here, and we've got 70% of the points needed to win. The enemy's still trying to push us back on the left side. They really want to try to get us at the initial battle zone, and they're just not doing what needs to be done to get that victory. ZSUs gonna be great to be taken out by our tanks. Another tank taken out by these damn persistent troops. I thought they were done. That was just a lucky shot, I guess. Of course, Shun coming across could have been an ATGM, but regardless, they held. I mean, we're holding with very affordable vehicles. I like that. Okay, we've got. We're just gonna stop here with our tank. The moment those vehicles are exposed, that's the moment we're gonna kill them. They're going for the M36. And they're getting a little too close to the cuties. They will engage the Romulan cloak now, as soon as that group is done. No, you can still see him. Okay, good for us. So now we'll have our huge number of tanks roll in and kill them. I'm going to try to keep these guys on the road and keep them in safety. Alright, what we'll do is we'll call up a tank to take position here at Delta. And we'll have our Mitsubishi CV move up at Wanju. That should be the end of that. On the left side, they're going for the command. Sneaky, sneaky. They finally changed their tactics. Just try to hold firm now. If we move, we'll die. And the reason I say that is because if we don't hold, those tanks will be able to advance and kill us without us being able to get a shot off with that command. But the firing computer need to be reset and we're okay. We'll call out a blockade now to further secure that position. Our command is ready to roll into town and be safe at Wanju, and tanks should be able to get to Delta in just a moment or two. And SPAAGs are coming. M36s should be able to take those down. Still cargoes, these ones are toast, I think. That one at least, who's exposed. And we'll move our tanks over to the other side. Those are supply trucks there. M36s are in a better position there. A 1925 is their range too, so it's really almost the range of a recoilless rifle. And don't be surprised if those SPAAGs start shooting at our cargo trucks that we've captured. Minute 24 seconds left. We've pretty much humiliated Lil Kim there. We've made some mistakes as well, of course, as usual, but no real major losses. Of course, things can always go better, but they can always go way worse. M36s are in pursuit. Shoka spotted. Enemy down to about 300 points. We're not going to push the attack. We've got a minute left. Anywhere where we see units, we're just going to try to engage them. But that should be it. So a real good job for one, or well, again, I should say, we did get nicely did capture some supply trucks, which are really necessary for this group. And it looks like we'll end with a few more points than we thought. M36s are a little exposed, but little too late to worry about that. Now we'll advance with our. We'll back them up just a bit to get away from the infantry, but we'll take out those infantry groups there that are closing in. Wow, the whole thing of infantry coming. Jeez. Beautiful. Alright, now we can focus completely on that infantry. And we'll just keep them at bay. Alright, they're done. Alright, so that's it. No extra major losses there. Again, a tank or two, but they've lost their anti-air company and their infantry regiment, and those aircraft will be able to escape. So that is a complete devastation to them in that attack. So that is a failure for the Yusu attack, and looks like whilst we are waiting for the Canadians and Anzacs, the fact that the first European and Japanese reinforcements have already arrived proves that we are being supported by the international community. The UN debates are increasingly in our favor. A gain of 50 political points. We'll move on to next then. Putting us up at 92 points to spend. That is fantastic. We did pretty much crush the enemy here. Did not see any T-72Ms. Very strange. Oh, of course, they'll have to arrive the next round. So that means we're going to have to bring some of our better tanks up. We could probably bring, let's see, our armored battalion up. That's probably what we're going to need the most there. On the left side, we have T-90Ss, 12 of them, against our units here, which are looks like they're fresh to fight. And probably the best thing we've got here is the infantry. But anyway, we'll have to be very selective in where we attack, or where we defend, and where we send our reinforcements. We still have to defend at Daegu again, Gwangju, and Yeonduk, but we can bring up reinforcements if needed. And since we've taken out their anti-aircraft, we may as well bring up aircraft of our own. So we'll go ahead and bring up these forces. We'll do that the next term. We'll make our purchases and move our aircraft. That's it for now. Naval sector Echo is good. No more naval movements, and Seoul is still ours. Fantastic extra points there. And I think one extra thing we could do is actually we could move some of our forces and attack in the rear and get some extra points to counterattack with. We should be able to scrounge up 10 and 5 there quite easily, and Sokcho is actually undefended as well. We could even embark these Japanese if they're out in the open for one turn without being opposed. They'll have the advantage to hop onto their planes and GTFO. So we will do that. I will see you guys. I must GTFO again. Password PimPanStrong. Thank you so much for the support, and I'll see you next time. Bye.